What was the huh?
You're throwing up or coming? Oh, he's coming.
Well, both.
You got that level 10 gat with the recoil seen from the front. Yeah, we got to work on our professionalism here, guys. This is
like,
this
no.
is the most professional.
I like your yeah with my
Giant dong bulging from tidy whities that can barely contain it. That's a good one.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Hype Attack Podcast, where we weigh in the latest in nerd pop culture hype. I'm Isaac, and with me, of course, are Doug, Jermaine, and man behind the hype, as always, Rudy.
Hi.
How's everyone doing?
Oh, pretty good.
And of course, no, the listeners. I check in with you guys often enough on social media.
I don't think the listeners can respond like right now.
Well, they can go
I can
to the
say
comment
okay.
section, duh.
Okay.
If they're only listening to this, because they're not just listeners, but also viewers, they're watchers.
yeah.
They can check us out
Perverts.
on youtube.com/the Hype Attack Podcast, because you can check us out because we're gorgeous. We're going to be talking about some trailers, good and bad, all that stuff. But first, we'll go around table and see what we all been hyped about. Doug, how you been? What you been hyped about?
Actually, mine's a little bit more of an anti-hype.
Okay, I'm starting with Rudy then.
Hold on. Has everyone watched
we
the
sandwich
season?
it?
Have we watched the season finale of Game of
Should I have
Thrones?
checked in
House
with
of
you
the
first?
Dragons?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Oh, you haven't watched it? Oh, we can't talk about
Wait,
it.
wait.
But
We can talk around it.
Have you been keeping up with it, or have you seen any of it?
I'm on. I just started season 2.
Okay.
Okay.
We
Well,
can talk
I've been
around
behind.
it.
Oh no, you guys.
No,
are
I mean,
good.
I don't have nothing to say other than it wasn't much of a season finale. And I'm not hyped for any. Like it didn't. It's not a cliffhanger.
It wasn't.
It was good. It wasn't bad. It's not a cliffhanger.
It wasn't
So-
much of a season at all.
No, yeah.
Like I remember when past episodes we were kind of sort of defending him, like, well, this was kind of shot good, and it just all towards the end because I thought like stuff was gonna play out, and then towards the end I go, they could have cut all of this in half, really wrapped it up instead of really like milking a lot of it.
Well, you know, at first you were right. Like we were defending it. I was saying, like, we have to remind ourselves this isn't just more Game of Thrones. Like this is
Sure, yeah.
You know, and so they do need to build it up, and we need this character development, and like that's part of the fun of these stories.
It wasn't. By the way, it wasn't bad. It was just drawn out.
Yeah, and like I said, I was defending that because you know it is like the whole point of this is like there's not necessarily a good and a bad. That everything's gray, and like we have to kind of learn that, and like we might start like I mean that's part of the fun. Like oh, I like this character. Oh, they're kind of becoming an asshole or whatever. But now that I've heard that, I think they've officially said it's just going to be 4 seasons. I think they've put an end on it, which would be 2 more seasons. So then your point that this was drawn out feels even more wasted. Like in my head, I'm like, 6, 7 seasons.
Well, not only that, but we're gonna have to wait another 2 years before the next season comes out.
Yeah, and there's zero to like keep me talking about it or questioning it.
I told my wife Elva, I go, I'm done. I'm not going to watch it. I'll wait and see what everyone says. I'll let everyone watch it once it comes out in 2 years from now, and then based off of what everyone's kind of feeling about it and stuff, then I'll maybe check out an episode or two, which is kind of what I did with the original Game of Thrones. Is everyone like it was? I think probably 6 seasons in before I even like jumped on board.
Like I said, I'm excited about it. Like any single episode is cool to watch. It's well shot. The dragons look great, and it's just that kind of fantasy world I'm into. So like, I'll still watch it in 2 years. I'm sure you know it'll pop up on enough of my
Well, you let me know how you like
my
it.
bombardment of fucking nerd shit on my algorithm. And yeah, 2 years when we're still doing this, we'll still be ranting about it.
Rachel was absolutely beside herself at that season finale. She's like, "That's it,
Yeah. Dude.
that's it." Like,
As you can tell that it's like ramping up and it's kind of throwing stuff at you and cliffhangers and stuff. Alva goes, no. We deserve like the big thing that you're leading up to. Don't you? hard cut to black.
Yeah.
Title card. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
Anyway.
Got him. Wait, real quick. This is based around one particular book that he wrote as a like prequel kind of.
I don't know.
No. It's one book. So maybe because there's so little of the source material, they're trying to make it to try to shoehorn as much stuff
get
in,
it.
character stuff in as they can, and then like the last 2 seasons, or maybe even just the last season, will be like all out,
Yeah.
more the actual finish to that story. So maybe they're just trying to like stretch as much as they can, but like not. I think they overcorrected.
Yeah.
Like this totally could have been like a 3-season thing, as opposed to 6 or 7, because of the subject matter they're covering.
Yeah.
Unless they plan on bringing in, like, because they already introduced a couple new characters late in the season, so like maybe like this 3rd season is going to be a little bit more exploration of more characters, and then they're probably really afraid of having a shitty ending. So then you're right, like the final season is probably going to be like this big payoff, this big war, but we're also going to have these characters that we are invested in and invested in. And so we'll see. Like I said, I think though, to your point, I think it is one book, but I also thought I read something where like a lot of the stories that are in the book were were characters telling the history of it, so they weren't necessarily accurate, and that the book or the source material kind of played off of that too, where like everyone has kind of a different memory of what this is.
Unreliable narrative.
Yeah, so that's why, like, I think some stuff has, like, especially in the season finale, I think has deviated from what the source material has said. But then people are saying it's like, oh, it's
I
maybe
think
this is what really happened.
What I hated in the last episode or two is I think it was just the last episode where they introduced certain concept or devices, so to speak, in such a way where like all of the rest of the beginning of that season, nothing was really hinting at those things, and you're like, oh god, that felt like really lazy writing. Like, let's shoehorn that in, it'll really lock people in for the next season. I'm like, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
I've spoken.
Anyway,
Jermaine.
that's what I'm not hyped about.
Wait, hold on a sec. Give me a pause for something I might insert now. So for a more in-depth review of our hatred for this, we brought in our Westerosi correspondents, Rachel and Elva. Welcome.
Hello, Westerosia.
Welcome to the podcast. I wanted to get
That's her sober.
our man on the street commentary for this, because there was definitely feelings felt when that screen went to black and the credits came up.
Even before it went black, I was like, don't you fucking do this to me. And just like my life, it did it to me.
It gave me blue balls, but whatever.
Like, so to set the scene for that last like 30 seconds, it was just quick cuts of everyone ramping up
Yeah.
to conflict, to war. Like, it's finally happening. We're finally going to get it. And all of a sudden, you check the fucking timestamps and you're like, wait a minute, there's still 15 minutes left.
Dude.
Why are they...
15 minutes
There was
of credits.
15 minutes of credits. Like,
Yeah.
we went back and looked at it and we're like...
The last like minute or two, Elva screaming, "They better not end the fucking episode."
Yeah.
Same. Don't do this to me. Don't do this.
And they did it.
Tell them why you mad, son.
They didn't finish the episode. There was no conflict resolved at the end. It was big cliffhanger.
I am mad because I want Aemon's head
All right, stop hitting the table.
on a steak. With a steak.
On a steak with the mashed potato. Side.
Medium rare.
I hate him. I hate him. I hate him.
He started everything.
You and this little eye patch thing, you're even giving me PTSD. I'm gonna hate you too. He's terrible. The one thing I did like, but I didn't like why it happened, is that Daemon finally kneeled. Daemon.
Yes.
Not Daemon.
Bent the
Daemon.
knee.
Yes, he bent the knee.
He bent the knee. I was happy about that, but I'm like, oh, it's only because you had that vision and she's going to come out on top. Mm-hmm. I was happy to see Khaleesi in there a little bit. That was cool.
Little back shot.
Yeah. That was pretty cool. I got excited for that. And then all of my dreams were dashed when those screen went to black and the credits rolled. That was terrible. Like the worst season finale ever.
Were
I'll
you
take
actively...
the original Game of Thrones one over that one.
Yeah,
like
you know
season
what?
8?
You're not wrong.
Bad.
Yeah.
Were you actively like leaning in towards the TV as that black screen went, and you were hoping they were going to
Yes.
shoot to like another scene as opposed to
I mean,
credits?
you were in the room with me. Yes.
Our listeners weren't in
no,
the room.
No, yes. I was
I'm trying to
literally
paint a
like
picture.
edging forward and I was like, oh,
Yeah. Like, phone was dropped, focused attention. This is happening. This is happening. No, it's not.
Oh, you know it's a
Yeah.
serious thing when the phone goes down.
Yeah. Not petting the dog. Ellie, get away from me. This is focus time. And I was focusing for nothing for the March of the Penguins. Like,
When it was over, I was like, okay, so I'm not going to watch the next season. I don't care when it comes out. I'm done. I'm done with it, dude. Just like
I'm
with M. Night Shyamalan movies. Just like with Shyamalan movies, I'm done. That's it. That was the last chance.
That's so extreme, but like everything else has been good up to that
Yeah,
point.
the
It's not
last
like
chance from what?
it wasn't like a string of this.
Do you remember how much I was defending it during our pod? I was like, oh, the story kind of this and the other. And everyone's like, you guys were like, yeah, well, but like, it's kind of good. It's going to go somewhere, you know? And
It
then,
went somewhere. Like they built it up. Just because you didn't get the release right now, does that necessarily mean we're walking away from it?
that is 2 years of blue balls and I'm not going to freaking get over.
I mean, it had its good parts, but I will say that, like, after reading reviews and, oh, this episode's being compared to the Red Wedding
That's
and this
exactly
and
it.
that, it was like, wait, what? Where?
They did do a lot of that.
I feel like
So
a lot
that
of
was
our,
a letdown, but I don't think it was a completely bad season.
I feel like a lot of our like media has been built up, like our shows and our movies and all this hype. Long Legs, Trap, just to name a few. Borderlands, not so much, but I'm not saying it's a terrible season. I'm just saying that like it was 8 episodes. It was ultimately drawn out. There was an episode or two where it was just CW level, like them just talking. You know, there was like the one episode I did defend where somebody who originally sits here didn't like it was like. He's like, yeah, they're just thinking. I go, yeah, but it was shot very well. Like there was some character development in that, but it just you have hour-long episodes, and 8 of them, and they could have been cut down so much. All of that could have been condensed so that you could have at least gotten, I don't know, the start of a war or something. But blue balls.
My blue balls didn't actually come from not seeing the war. I want to see Reyna get the dragon.
Yes!
The wild dragon.
Yes!
I was like, no, I have to wait.
Yeah, amongst a few other things. That's one of them too. Yeah.
Halfway through that episode, I was like, I don't care if she gets a dragon now. Like I really don't, because it was just like her stumbling through the grass and
Holy shit, that was
dragging in the
annoying.
distance. I was like,
Yeah. I want her to have it, though. Poor girl. She just wants her dragon.
so universally, we hated the way that season ended. For Isaac, he's not coming back to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Unless like reviews are raving, actual reviews, not people who maybe still some pre-screenings, not like that kind of bullshit hype. You know what I mean?
I like the characters. I like the story. I'll be watching it no matter.
I need to finish it. I need to finish the thing.
You gotta
And
know.
I'll wait for them to review it
You gotta know.
with Rachel Alba.
And our code name. I like the characters. I like that. I was infuriated when Rhaenyra goes and finds out that he was talking about Aegon the Conqueror and not his son Aegon, and she was just like, "Sorry, too late." Like what?
Or how Allison at the end, she goes, "Oh, can you just like go in there and we'll all bend a knee, but just walk in there, just walk in there." And I'm like, that's such
We
like
good,
a
right?
bullshit
We
thing.
good,
Yeah,
right?
like no.
No. Yeah, a son for a son. Damn right, a son for
Yeah.
a son. Hell yeah. Aemon did her son dirty. Take him. Oh, and I want the rude guy. I want him to be eaten by a dragon.
The fuck guy? No.
Who's the rude one?
The dragon rider, right?
Yeah, the new dragon rider. I forget
Oh,
his name.
yeah.
He's
Oh,
just
yeah,
totally
yeah,
like
him.
yeah.
The derp.
The dipshit, yeah.
Yeah.
That
I
was-
wouldn't mind him just his head disappearing.
Do you feel like
Yeah.
that was played up a little too heavy? Him being a derp? Because he was like depressed to a point.
No, because they introduced him early in the season as the shit talker in
Right,
the
right.
bar. Totally fulfilled that character development. That he's just a shit talker, and now he's a dragon rider shit talker. Like I don't think they did it too hard, but I think they're definitely going for likable dude who wants revenge or whatever for his daughter, son,
Daughter, yeah.
daughter, and then just shit heel who got lucky.
Yeah.
Do you think they're gonna let the masses know that Homeboy is what's that guy's name? Son? The ship guy?
Oh,
Oh, you think he's gonna claim any of them?
Yeah, do you think he's gonna like, oh yeah, that's my kid? Or do you think
No.
the guy's gonna be like, yeah, that's my dad?
I don't think so.
I think if they were gonna do it, they probably would have done it already.
But I do love, like, they are an army of bastards, and they have, like, the Hightowers hating on it, but Battle of the Bastards in Game of Thrones was one of the best episodes. Like, the Bastards got nothing to lose.
Battle of the
I'm
Bastards
excited to see what
2.0?
they do.
All right. So, final verdict: we coming in for the next season?
I am, yes.
I've spoken.
Coming with a strong case of skepticism, and we're like, maybe it's going to be good. Or are you excited to get actually get to the action?
I'm excited to get to the action. I want to see how it all plays out because obviously there's spoilers in the original Game of Thrones, and I want to see how all of that plays out. And I'm curious to see if Daemon's visions were the future or just random visions, and she's actually not going to overtake the Hightowers.
Interesting.
All right. Well, you heard it here. This is from our special Westerosi correspondents, Ray Chalva, and back to the regular podcast. Okay, thank you.
Checking
Jermaine.
my anus.
Considered.
He's got it automated over there?
We just finished the series that we were watching on Netflix, Sweet Home. I
does
believe it
that
was
sound
like the
familiar?
third and final season. I was kind of whelmed with the ending because things were building up for like a little while, but like like a good build up. But it was just a lot of things happening, and you're waiting for the two to meet. Because you're kind of like expecting some type of battle that that's about to take place because of the two characters and who they are. And then we really didn't get that. So it was one of those things where I was just like, I sat there with it, and it's a solid ending, but it just wasn't that little oomph.
Oh, that's why it's familiar. I've seen the picture of the guy with the wing.
Yeah.
Oh.
But this is all right series. I mean,
One wing like Sephiroth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally, that's
In a
what
sense.
it's giving me right now.
the first season is epic because you're just with this group of people that they kind of barricaded themselves in like an apartment, kind of like a tower like complex, because there's like creatures, people got infected and they turn into monsters and they're trying to defend themselves. But you're just following that group, and then it opens up, and then you go into the world. And I feel like it's almost like Maze Runner, like where the first movie was amazing, and then they escape the maze and they go into the world, and it's kind of like,
Does it feel like that kind of teen novel feel?
kind of in a sense.
Why no? Young adult.
Young adult, there you go.
So what you're telling me is I can watch the first season and then just drop it from there?
I mean, if you wanted to, yeah, pretty much. But
Cool.
Somebody needs to make like
solid though.
somebody needs to make a YouTube that kind of wraps up the rest of it. It's like watch the first season and then watch this 10-minute YouTube. I feel like that kind of content should exist.
Right?
Like when shows have that like
We can do that.
there we go.
Don't give away free ideas. Anyway.
Right. But my hype thing right
Can you
now,
add a
though,
flash right here? Everyone.
this is just a dream. But I'm liking the ads right now for Alien Romulus. I am hyped for that movie.
Bro.
Look at both.
Good trailer, you would say.
Yeah, the people in the streets with the
Oh, that, yeah.
Oh, the
Yeah.
face huggers, and then they got the chest busters. Like they're just people laying in the streets and acting it out. Like,
Times
I like
Square,
all
yeah.
that stuff. Yeah, that's happening right
marketing.
now. Like I love that marketing stuff. Yeah, so
I kind of dig that kind of marketing.
Yeah, we've seen it with Planet of the Apes recently. Smile did that really creepy shit when they just had people like at baseball games smiling like behind home base.
Oh, didn't
The creator did it.
yeah? Where's the poster? I was like looking for the. There it is.
Yeah, the creator did it with the robots at the baseball games. But the
Yeah.
Smile one was really creepy because
Yeah.
that was also a movie that not a lot of people had heard about unless you follow
Yeah.
horror. And so just having someone sitting behind home base is like,
Carrie did like a sort of like like a prank where everyone is in on it except like the person walking in, and there's a whole kerfuffle, and she's like, "Ah," and does that to the guy, and, and goes up on the wall. It's
Oh.
like that's great.
Yeah, that stuff is pretty cool. I
marketing.
dig it. I dig it.
It's so fun.
Anything else you hyped about?
Oh, no, that's it.
Full stop.
That's it for me.
Rudy?
The only thing I had was, and you did this to me because I started listening to Heidi and Frank on the way to work.
Hey,
Nice.
And
Yeah.
one of their little entertainment like blurbs that they kind of like shoot out was about Star Wars, and that the Daisy Ridley led new trilogy is still on track for, I think it's a 2026 release, which is really not that far away for a Star Wars movie, and that potentially news is going to be dropping about it soon. And right now we're in the midst of D23 week here in Anaheim, Disney's big analog to San Diego Comic-Con. And, you know, Marvel shot their wad at Comic-Con with Robert Downey Jr. So you think they'd be saving something for D23 for the hardcore fans. This fits right in that pocket. That and Skeleton Crew, the new show
Oh,
that they
yeah.
released stills from. That probably, there's probably going to be a trailer for that.
Oh, for sure. I
Yeah.
feel like there's usually like a week, like stills come out, and then like a week we get a trailer or at least a teaser.
So that's that. And we were sitting here earlier before we started recording, and I was looking to see if there was any like corroborating news reports of that, and I couldn't find anything. So I'm like, oh, where are you getting your information? But it makes sense.
If it's the blurbs that you're talking about done by Johnny,
Yeah.
Johnny Ice, yeah, not exactly reliable.
Yeah.
Doug will love him.
No.
It's a real heart white right
No,
wing guy.
I know. I already feel like the show's like morphed a little bit since his presence on there, and it's like,
Now they're pretty even in that realm. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Right on. The stuff I was one thing I was hyped about, or not, anti-hype, yeah, is I did see M. Night Shyamalan's new suspense thriller Trap, starring Josh Hartnett.
You know, you've been saying Heart Nick.
Yeah. I looked at all my reviews and everything, and the podcast, and they're like, "Why am I saying Nick? What the fuck? I know it's Hartnett. It's weird. I don't know. Not good. Not a good movie. I didn't. I really wanted to like it. I like the concept. I love Josh Hartnett, and really want to see how that played out. The trailer was engaging, and saw it, and it was sort of all over the place. It didn't. It had different character focuses which didn't allow you to care about them, and you're like, wait, who am I rooting for? For the guy who's obviously, it's announced that he's the killer, he's supposed to be such a bad guy, and then at a certain point it was like comical of how big the trap was, in the sense of how many SWAT members and cops there were. There's literally like
I
four.
think the trailer showed a shit ton.
Oh, it's ridiculous. As the movie's playing out, because every movie is like in 3 acts, right? The first act is like all in the stadium, and so many officers and SWAT members at every fucking corner. Cameras are everywhere, so it's like, oh, how's this guy gonna get away with stuff? And then the movie plays out, and you go, got it. So they wrote themselves in a corner, so they have to make characters idiots.
Oh,
sort
yeah.
of thing. And I started to hate it more and more.
So he wasn't trapped.
He wasn't trapped. He was like the Houdini guy. I didn't like the character choice of how he played the butcher. It was silly. It didn't need to be silly, because in certain moments he was like kind of this like, I'm serious, I'm the butcher, and then he would continue to play this like, hey everyone kind of thing, and it didn't work at all. And credit for M. Night Shyamalan hiring or casting his daughter, who played Lady Raven, like the pop star in the movie, but she can't act.
Oh.
I mean, and I get it. It's like maybe she didn't have a lot of gigs, whatever. But there was just these crucial moments where you needed somebody with acting abilities for those little like minute facial movements and stuff. and it wasn't there, and it took me out of that moment because that was one of the characters like the movie took like a focal point on. And I'm just like, I just want this movie to be over, please now. And then it ends, on a certain beat, and you go, Shyamalan, hang it up.
I do feel bad.
Damn.
I do feel bad for him
Hang it up. I would drop the mic, but it's on a boom.
because I do feel like extremely bad for M. Night because, like Isaac, he's one of those.
Supposed to be professional.
Jackass.
He's one of those like he likes these movies, but it never fails for M. Night. Like he does fantastic trailers. The trailers are fantastic, but the execution of the movie.
Trash.
And can you even credit him with the trailers? Because don't they hire outside companies to
Usually, yeah.
cut something together?
Maybe, but I do remember when Isaac, he was like, "Oh, this movie looks so good." I was like, "Bro,
Dude was excited
in my
about
head,
it.
in my
So
head, I was
excited
like, "Bro,
about
this
it.
is M. Night. You're gonna get disappointed."
I know. No, and Alba, she goes, all right, I need you to say whether you're on board or off board. There's no middle ground, and you just say it. And I was like, I'm off board. Any other movie, it's like directed by M. Night Shyamalan. I don't care who's in it. I'm not going to go rush to go see it. Larry,
No,
done.
just wait till it comes out streaming.
Probably not even that. Probably not even that. No, I'll probably glance at it a little bit and go, no, you don't need to watch this.
I wanted this one to be good too.
Me too, man.
Like I was interested in it.
Yeah. I
Was
love
there a twist?
No, not really. I mean, you could
Just the setup itself was kind of a twist on like.
you could kind of consider a little moment a twist, but it wasn't like, what a twist. Oh,
okay.
wow. No, nothing to blow your mind. It was
He wasn't in the corner going.
nothing at all. You got shirtless Josh Hartnett, so,
Fucking worth it. Let's go.
he's getting dad bod going
Wow.
on. He's not Wolverine shredded out.
Yeah.
So,
Was Shyamalan in this one?
yes.
Think he invited himself into it? Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
Good for him though.
Yeah.
Just doing it.
But that trailer got me. What a good trailer it was. I'm telling you, we needed that as a button. Segway. Can we do it a cappella? 1, 2, 3. Segway. Doug, you're a little pitchy, but I'll allow it. Trailers.
You're about to make me bitchy.
All right, talk about it. Go. Trailers, good and bad.
Well, you mentioned Alien Romulus, and so I looked up the original Alien trailer. That was a good fucking trailer. I should have mentioned it to you guys to look it up, but you could tell how Romulus.
I do vaguely remember that.
I watched it as part of my research.
Yeah, so Romulus certainly drew from that. One of their first teasers was that same idea of no audio or no dialogue or anything
That's
like
right,
that, just showy scary shit, and then
The tagline was
no one can hear you scream in space.
In space. No one.
So I try to put myself in the position of like going to the movies in the late 70s, right? Was Alien, and seeing that trailer, like holy shit, I would have been so, because it's like, okay, it's scary. Oh, it's aliens. Like that would have been totally up my alley.
Ellie. I also figured too. Sorry. I also figured I'm a 12-year-old brain. I also figured too that like during that time was the era of you would have usually like was it John LaFontaine, the voiceover guy. In a world, one man, one spaceship, 2 men, 1 cup, and so to I guess not have that. So the what would be the juxtaposition or the contrast of that would be like, ooh, a silent trailer.
Yeah, definitely.
Are
And it didn't show like much story at all. Like what you needed to know is like there's some people and there's an alien and they're fucking running and it looks scary.
What would you consider to be a good trailer?
I think there's multiple things. One, obviously, if it makes me want to go see the movie, right?
Which is the intention of
Yeah,
every
which is the
trailer.
intention of it all. There's like other things, like if I remember the name of it afterwards, which is a huge problem for me. I don't know if you guys have ever done one of those. I don't think they exist now, but for a while, you used to go to the movie theaters and you walk out and they'd be like, "Hey, do you have time to answer a few questions?" And I'll be like, "Sure." And they're like, "Did you see trailers?" I was like, "Yeah. Can you name one of the ones you saw?" Nope. I mean, to the point now where during the trailers, I know I try not to pull my phone out, but sometimes if it's a good trailer, I'll pull my phone out and just do a quick note of like what the name of it was, because I will not remember, and I don't know why that's a thing for me. But no, other than that, like I want a trailer that's not going to give away too much of the story. I don't want to feel like, oh well, now I don't need to see the movie after seeing the trailer.
Marvel.
Yeah, that's a
Fantastic
huge
Four.
one. That's a huge one.
Warner Brothers.
Personal preference, like I think I'm more of a fan of the shorter teaser ones, and I love ones that are almost just a music video. Like
That
on my
actually hits
list,
on
I
beat.
mentioned Logan's first teaser that just had the Johnny Cash hurt, and like I will rewatch that trailer over and over and over because it is kind of just like watching a music video.
It's especially if a trailer illustrates what like that mood or tone of that movie is supposed to be. Because
Yeah.
sometimes it'll be the opposite of that. Off mic, we were talking about Drive. You had seen the trailer to Drive, but you hadn't seen the movie itself.
I haven't seen it either. I saw that on Reddit. People were talking about it, but
But so have you seen the trailer to Drive? Did you end up getting around to
I
it?
didn't get to watch it.
That they were saying it. What it was.
They said that the trailer made it look like just another Fast and the Furious or whatever, and then that movie is clearly not. And so something like that would be like that's hard to say if the trailer's good or not. I mean, if the trailer's bad, but if the movie ends up being good, that's hard to judge just from watching the trailer. But like that is, I guess, another angle to this conversation is
Yeah.
the disappointment or surprise after seeing the movie compared to seeing the trailer, which I think there's a lot of that.
Well, Trap was one of those where I thought it was going to be good, and it was dog shit. It was hard
Yeah.
trash.
I do have like kind of like three elements. If a trailer is well, if it's gonna grab me, so I will say I'll grab you.
Unnecessary.
For me, one of them was the Cloverfield trailer.
Yeah.
That was one. Which damn, what was that like 2007, 2008?
Oh, don't make me feel old.
So something like that. But it's just a trailer that. Do you guys want to say that it was the found footage?
Yeah.
So it was just a group of young kids at a party, and the camera's just jumping around and all that stuff, and they're celebrating, drinking. You just think, oh, they're just having a wild time. And then the lights go out, and you just hear things happen outside, like all the commotion and explosion, and then everybody runs outside, and the camera follows them, and then you see
The skyline.
off in the city, the skyline, you just see the explosion and just things, flying off, and then, they're just walking in the streets and they're like tripping out. And then all of a sudden, here comes this big thing that launches and lands in the streets, and it slides a little bit, and it turns around, and it's the head of the Statue
Oh,
of
yeah.
Liberty. And I was sitting there like, I don't care what this is.
Yeah.
I don't care what's happening. Who's in this movie?
So
I'm watching it.
Cloverfield was 2008, and Blair Witch was 1999, which
Yeah.
is the first to like really do the found footage.
Oh, yeah.
Thing. It's weird that it took almost 10 years for them to come out with another one because usually Hollywood's pretty big about jumping on those trends.
I think there was a few in between, maybe, or did you literally Google? Like,
I just
found
looked that right
footage?
now.
I'll look it up.
Oh, okay. I thought there was a few because I remember when the Cloverfield trailer came out. I think part of the strength of that trailer was like, oh, it's found footage. This is going to be a horror movie.
That era, by the way, like 08 era and stuff, was all found footage.
Yeah, there was quite a
Pops.
bit, and so I remember like, oh, this is going to be another horror movie or something like that. And then so the lights went out and stuff. Oh,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
what?
yeah.
What? But then when you saw that it was something big, obviously.
Yeah, something had to have smacked the head off the Statue of Liberty. And you're like, how the heck did that?
Exactly.
Yeah,
So-
it got your mind going.
Mm-hmm.
And then I heard, because it was by Bad Robot,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Abrams. I
Produced
heard
it.
that. Yeah. I heard that movie was like super hush hush.
Oh
That
yeah.
they didn't want anything leaked about that movie.
I
And
think
I love that so much.
I think a good portion of the actors didn't even know what they were running from.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the extras and stuff. I mean, there was some practical effects, like some of the smaller monsters. I think they used some practical, like you
Yeah.
know, put them on poles. But for the most part, I think they were just told like, "Hey, there's something up there. Just run and scream."
Yeah.
TJ Miller was like the cameraman.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know him at the time, and I was like, oh my God, the entire movie going, Steve, hey, Steve, where's this? So it's Steve. And then I, turned out to fall in love with
Yeah.
TJ Miller.
So for me, it's that unknown, something that's happening, but you get just enough information to get you curious about the movie. And then my other two movies style of movies that kind of grab me, it's the visual stuff, like Inception and 300. Just the way 300 looked, the tone and everything, it just looked like it was ripped out of the comics, but of course it's live action, but that style,
Well, specifically Snyder.
that trailer, yeah, like he knows how to handle property like that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a part of me that I wish he would, just keep doing that, because that would.
Oh, did you watch Rebel Moon?
Because that could be his thing, but we haven't seen his version yet. But I'm hyped, and I'm not hyped about that. But yeah, but visually also, man, that Inception trailer, just the way that mechanic of the world, like
Yeah.
how everything worked, and like how the city was bending and moving, and you have people, floating in like midair, like it's that dream state
I think
concept.
I think though, because I do think it's the third parties that make the trailers, that cut the trailers. A friend of mine, his stepdad makes the trailers. He actually sent me like the first cut trailer to what was it, Spider-Man No Way Home, with the one with Doctor Strange. But I lost my train of thought. Fuck. There's one per episode. Fuck me.
One. We'll see.
So
Sorry, I gotta remember now.
okay.
It's
where Isaac remembers what the fuck he wants to say.
Could you imagine that? It's. I think it's easy for those people who are making the trailers to make them out of movies that are just the entire thing's going to be visually amazing. The tricky part comes in when it's maybe not visually appealing and it's just all like dialogue based story. Like, how do you cut that together? How do you not give too much away of the story, but you really bring people in? That is where the mastery comes in.
Yeah.
And then also that's where I feel where the bad trailers come through, where it's like, well, I don't fucking know, I would just like summarize it and there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what to say to you. Sorry, I was going to respond to Jermaine. I was ready for that.
Go ahead.
No, it's
My
okay.
bad.
Can I bring up a trailer real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Parasite. The trailer for Parasite
Oh, yeah.
did absolutely nothing for
Academy
me.
Award winning.
Yes, but I didn't see that movie till years after it came out, and this is despite everyone telling me that it was great, because I looked the trailer up and I'm like, what is this shit even about? Like, it didn't understand, and it didn't pull me in. So like, I was just like, all right, whatever. And then I finally watched it. I'm like, holy shit, this is a masterpiece. I love this movie. I wish the trailer had done a little bit better about conveying at least a little bit more of the tone.
And that's a hard movie as well, because I think we've all seen it.
Yeah.
Right? You haven't seen it.
I've seen it.
Okay. It's like you don't want to reveal anything at all, because it's kind of contingent on twists here and there.
Absolutely.
It is almost one of those type of movies that come out. If the trailer didn't grab you, then it's probably going to be word of mouth.
That's exactly what it was, because I was like,
That's why I went to go see it.
it's like,
Yeah. I don't, if I think if that trailer popped up at the movie theater, I probably would have been like, okay.
Yeah, I
Maybe.
don't ever remember seeing it. I just remember someone saying, "Oh my god, it's so amazing! We got to see it. We're going to see it a second time. You want to join us?" And then I did.
Maybe if they flashed all the like Sundance, when they flash all the awards
still
in front of
doesn't
it.
get me.
Sometimes it does for me. Sometimes I'll see that, and if the trailer doesn't show much, I usually kind of put two and two together and figure like something's amazing about it.
I think over the past maybe, I don't know, whatever, 5-10 years, I think it's like, from Focus Studios, or it's the studios that get me in, just to have a good track record, unless it's Lionsgate and it's CIA.
See,
That's my only. Sorry, this is my only example of a truly bad trailer that made me want to like burn my eyes out of my head.
It's just a genre
See,
of
to
movie,
me, I
though.
was just like, that looked
Yeah.
awesome. That looked so much
This is
fun.
a totally cheese. Someone, like you said, someone pitches to Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon's like, yeah, we're gonna pass on that. And Lionsgate, like, yeah, we'll take it.
You know what? In that realm, though, you showed us a trailer. You were excited about it. 100 beavers. I'll give you
Yeah,
more.
hundreds of beavers.
Hundreds
yeah.
of beavers, and I was like, okay, Doug. And then you went to go see it, and you showed it to us, the movie, and I fucking loved it.
Yeah, the movie's great.
I fucking loved it. It was so silly.
Yeah. But what I was going to say, like to your point with 300 with Zack Snyder, because so much of my list is Zack Snyder stuff. He is so artistically like awesome. Like any of his movies just look
Visually.
so good visually. Yeah, like storytelling and everything else like that. We can talk
Save it
on
for
that.
another episode.
But I remember even like when the Man of Steel trailer came out.
Yeah.
I was so excited because at that point, I mean, I knew who Zack Snyder was, but I wasn't like a big fan or like, I wasn't sucking his dick or kissing his boots. But
Yeah.
More examples. Or eating his ass. Or,
yeah. Bringing him breakfast.
Fluffing them.
But I just remember being excited to like get a Superman movie that looked artistically interesting.
I remember that trailer.
Like the close up of the butterfly and like the kid with the like you didn't even like it was just such a relief to me to see someone that was gonna take the superhero genre as an art form.
Do you remember how that trailer ended?
No, I actually didn't go rewatch that one, but
I just remember that one. Do you remember? It's like the faraway view, and the camera's trying to lock in on Superman
Oh,
as
yes.
flight, and then breaks
Yeah.
the sound
Oh, yeah,
barrier.
yeah.
yeah,
Man of Steel.
it like I said, it just to see the superhero genre taken from that aspect of like an art form, not just slapping a camera in front of some people running around with some bright colors or something like that. Like,
And to that note, what he just said, that's the only aspect of it that I was disappointed that Zack Snyder couldn't finish his run, and then then they rebooted it because of just like the look and feel of the movie. It just felt different from everything else, whether you liked it or not. It wasn't the Marvel recipe. He took it kind of like he said. It was an art form. Like it was almost like Alex Ross.
Yeah.
did the storyboards for this thing, and he took that visually and just gave the cinematic picture of that you're watching life, besides having the main character on the screen.
Yeah, he was able to translate into the real world. It was great.
That's the only thing that I'm gonna miss about his universe.
style makes a huge difference because we just talked about it in Deadpool Wolverine, how their Badlands car bullshit looked so bad compared to like what George Miller did with Road Warrior and Fury Road and even Furiosa to a point. So it does make a big difference. And then to your point, like with Inception, that trailer was great because that whole movie was such a weird mind fuck that
Soundtrack is awesome.
yeah, and they could take whatever scenes they wanted from, and you as the audience watching that trailer have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
And plus you got Christopher Nolan behind it, which there is a certain point where like I feel like Christopher Nolan, a trailer for his next movie could just be like, here's my next movie.
Yeah.
Comes out this. And it'd be like, yeah, I'll watch that.
That's what Oppenheimer was.
Nothing but 30 seconds of.
Oh man,
man.
I mean, later we'll talk about the era of trailers, but I
Yeah.
mean, that's what Oppenheimer was. It was like the countdown, or I think it was just a black and white of Oppenheimer. Cillian Murphy, he's walking or something like that.
Yeah.
And then just like the countdown. You're like, Nolan, I'm in.
Oh
That's it.
yeah, it was suspenseful, and you know what it's about, and yeah, exactly. Christopher Nolan, like that. That's enough.
It's the whole thing of like less is more, but only if you know that you can work it. Only.
See, but it's a thing too. I do feel that there's certain directors that just know how to shoot a movie. So when you get certain trailers and you look at them, you're like,
They
"Damn,
totally
that's a
shot
good-"
it for the trailer.
Well,
Or be like, that's
A-
his style.
a
and
little
that's,
bit of that,
That's what I'm
but-
showing up for.
but you're like, damn, this dude is like,
Or her
like
style.
he really likes making movies, because there's just some shots like I will mention not anything like big, but we'll just mention like the Star Wars franchise. Remember where the X-wings just came in and they
Over the water.
right
Oh,
over the
yeah.
water, and they
Yeah.
just have
Perfect.
and there's just certain moments that you get in the trailer, not the whole trailer, but you just get like little bits and pieces. You're like, damn, that's fucking sexy.
Yeah, you know someone, I don't know if that was Abrams' idea himself or someone at some point in their life,
Yeah.
like flew an X-Wing above their pool or their bathtub or something
Yeah.
and like got to put it in real life and just was so happy.
So that so that like takes me to that where it's if you're making a teaser trailer, it's way easier to do when it's a known property. Because you don't got to show much. You already know kind of the world that you're in and stuff like that. The teaser just shows you the general like art style or whatever, cinematography, and that's like easy. I would imagine
And it
easy
sets
for
like the
them to
mood
do.
and stuff for
Yeah,
it too.
yeah. And it's
Because
just
we've all seen those trailers where, or the YouTube videos where someone takes a trailer but switches the music, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's a creepy movie.
Right?
I think that Mrs. Doubtfire is the infamous
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Are you guys who here is a teaser trailer type person and who here is a full trailer type person?
I really like the teasers.
I need a full trailer. Even if it's the first trailer and it's the only trailer, I need a full trailer because the teaser is just like, well, now I need fucking more. And I need it right now.
So I if the teaser is good enough, I go great. I
Yeah.
probably don't need the rest
Yeah.
of it because I'm locked in.
Yeah, I'm
that
already
trailer
there.
got my butt
Yeah.
in that movie seat.
You have my attention.
Yeah, finish it.
No,
Finish it.
First you had my curiosity.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Now you
I didn't
got my
finish it
attention.
because I think I said it backwards.
Well, better you than me. But I'm not going to avoid seeing the rest of the trailers that come out. But I will try not to rewatch and pause and zoom in and stuff like that. My wife fucking hates that I do that. I try not to. She will see the teaser and she will avoid every subsequent trailer after that. She'll close her ears and shut her eyes and la 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 la.
Well,
You know?
in the world we live in now, where everything's a sequel or a reboot or some IP,
Yeah,
I feel like I don't need much more than the teaser.
Exactly.
It's like,
exactly.
oh, a new Superman. Here's a teaser. Cool. All right, I like the style or whatever. Honestly, if the teaser didn't look good, then I might be like, all right, let me see another trailer.
But have
if
you?
it-
Sorry, go ahead.
What was your question?
No, what were you gonna say?
Oh no, but if the trailer's good, if the teaser's good, I mean, I'll still watch everything else.
Uh-huh.
But ever since BVS, I'm a little afraid to keep watching stuff. Well, I know like Deadpool Wolverine,
was a
I
good trailer,
started
too.
I started avoiding all of it. BVS's first teaser was amazing.
Was that the Do You Bleed?
Yeah, it ended with that, and then
Once in my
red eyes.
the great scene of like Batman in the armor looking up into the rain, and the lightning shows
talking
you
about
Superman.
it. Oh.
Yeah, and then the second trailer came out, and there was a teaser which was good, really good. The first trailer was pretty decent, though. The first trailer still gave away the Wonder Woman thing, which like there was a brief moment of Wonder Woman.
Oh,
The
that's
Wonder Woman
right.
and Doomsday.
And then the second trailer
killed
was
me.
when they
Oh,
really
killed
showed
me.
Wonder
dude.
Woman. And yeah, the Doomsday
hurt my
thing,
soul.
unnecessary to put out.
Jesus
Like,
Christ.
that just killed the vibe.
We've talked about this before. Like, if you'd been sitting in the theater, having no idea Wonder Woman's going to be in this movie, and you hear her fucking musical intro, and all of a sudden she drops,
Yeah,
I would have fucking lost my mind.
yeah. There's a
But just
lot of.
whose decision is that to do that?
I don't
I
know.
feel it's the studio heads that they want to try to get, as much out there to grab as many people as
Yeah,
possible.
because these movies cost so much that you got to put. It's like the guys fishing off the pier that have like 6 pieces of bait, like 6 hooks with 6 pieces
Yeah.
of bait instead of just the one. That's what you got to do. Like you got to just put. Hey, maybe people will go see it if Wonder Woman's in it. Put her in the trailer. Like,
Because man, if that Wonder Woman, if I didn't know, I would have had the Human Torch style death.
Skin.
That was perfect timing. You could just like add a blood effect on our screens.
that said, though, like we're talking about obviously like Zack Snyder stuff, and then continuing with the DC stuff. Like some of the Wonder Woman trailers were decent enough. Again, they had that, especially the first one. I'm not talking 1984. Fuck that movie.
yeah.
Fuck that movie all the way to fucking oblivion.
I concur.
But even like the first Suicide Squad, David Ayer's Suicide Squad, like that first trailer, it had Queen music going to it, and it was kind of. I mean, it had at the time I thought it was funny, but looking back at the. We're bad guys. It's what we do. It's like, oh, fuck, God, that's a little lame.
Isolating those overly cheesy lines that in
Yeah.
context work, but out of context, woof.
But here's my question: do any of the Marvel trailers stand out to you guys at all? Like, do you remember?
Guardians.
Oh yes,
Guardian-
the first Guardians. Yes,
Guardians
Music.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was the Redbone, or was it the Ooga Shaka?
Uga Shaka.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, first off, that movie just has a fucking amazing playlist. Like, I still visit the Volume 1 and 2 playlist every now and again. And yeah, it showed you what it needed to, and you're like, I'm in.
Yeah,
See-
and with it being brand new characters that were so out there,
Yeah.
like, it needed to, and it worked.
But go ahead.
And that works because I feel like it's the creative people behind it, but also the director, man. Like it's just the vision that they have. Like if you have somebody like Gunn, which when he was announced that he was gonna take over for DC, I was excited just because of what he did with Guardians, that you can tell that he cares about, you know, the like his characters, the franchise, and then that it was like a, you know, a like a few heavy hitters, you know, in that movie also makes me, you know, think he's going to be able to handle the entire DC cinematic universe.
Yeah, we'll see. Those costumes look like shit. So. I know it's a set.
It's a
photo.
set,
It's a set
relax.
photo. I know,
Well,
and clearly they're all working like for Ted Cord or something. Not Ted Cord. Maxwell Lord.
They'll fix it in post.
Yeah.
I can't find it, but me and Albert were doing just random trivia, and I was just doing movie-based trivia, and there's multiple choice of what movie had like the biggest box office weekend or whatever, and she gave me the multiple choice, and it was like Guardians of the Galaxy, Winter Soldier. There's two other ones. I think it might have been one of the like Mockingjay.
Far From Home, or
Oh,
No.
Hunger
Oh.
Games.
Yeah, Hunger Game, and it was another one. It was like all of these ones that it's like, oh, obviously one of those other three, definitely not Guardians of the Galaxy, and it was Guardians that won opening weekend.
wow.
Based on the trailer, I don't know, but
It must have been going up against nothing.
that's what I'm saying.
Wow.
Winter Soldier.
I went back through and like watched like the trailer for Age of Ultron, and that almost made me mad because the trailer had that play on No Strings Attached.
right.
Yeah.
No Strings on
No
Me or
Strings
whatever.
on Me.
Like good trailer,
I'll never forget that.
but
Yeah.
that movie just
That was a good
that
one.
was such a
That was
disappointing.
a good one.
But I didn't remember it until I literally just started going
Yeah.
back through and watching.
That was a good, and I like that. I don't remember the guy's name off the top of my head, but the guy
James
from the
Spader?
Blacklist,
Yeah.
yeah, that was the voice of Ultron. I was like, oh,
good.
money.
Yeah. Oh, great
Trailer.
choice.
That was a good
Yeah.
one. That was money. But the movie,
Yeah,
Use your, put your
Yeah.
best assets forward.
Can I take us back to the 90s?
yeah.
Back in the time.
Did anyone see the Matrix trailer before they saw the movie?
Yes.
Yes.
I honestly, because you
They have the-
you mentioned that on your list that you sent us, you said The Matrix, and I was like, what the fuck was The Matrix trailer?
I had to go and look it up
I
because
went and watched it. I
yeah.
don't remember it at all.
Me neither.
The trailer was good because it certainly made you interested in seeing it, but also like I felt like the trailer was kind of corny because it was just had like text and stuff pop
Right?
up over it. I was
Yeah.
like,
It
this
was-
trailer is like bad.
If
but-
I had seen that, I would have been like, "Mm, okay. I'll go see it, but like I would be excited. Like when I saw it, it was like blind. Like me and my cousin went to go see it, and it was like, what is this? I'm like, I don't know. Keanu Reeves and Kung Fu, from what I hear.
yeah,
leather.
I must have seen because I remember, God, at least I think I remember this prior to the movie, but I do remember like the wire fighting. So I must have seen the trailer, or maybe there was a later trailer that wasn't that trailer. But like, putting yourself back in that mindset, seeing that trailer, seeing the special effects, the mirror like going up his arm, and then yeah, all the wire fighting and the camera motion, like that had to have been pretty mind blowing at the time. Like that alone would have made me want to go see that
It-
movie.
It was a little bit of all that stuff because of, in my mind, watching the Matrix trailer, and I vaguely remember some of the ads, you know, I could be wrong, you know, but there was, you know, these things that kept coming out like, what is the Matrix? The Matrix has you.
Oh, yeah.
And all these little things. But after I watched the trailer and even watched the movie, I was like, man, is this what people felt like when they went to go watch like Star Wars for the first time? Because that shit,
Yeah.
like,
mind-blowing.
it rocked the shit out of my brain, bro. Visually, the storytelling, the concept, of it all, and then the fact that it is heavily anime influenced because of certain scenes and certain shots. You could go watch Ghost in the Shell, and you can see all these things. That they pulled ideas and concepts from.
Inspiration.
Yeah.
And which is cool because at that time, anime was not super, super big. I mean, there was certainly groups of people that liked anime, but it wasn't like your average person. Well, I mean, like Sailor Moon or something,
Yeah.
and like Ronin Warriors. So it was there a little bit, but
Oh yeah, I had the T-shirts back then, and people were looking like, "What the fuck is that?" I'm like,
yeah,
something I like.
When it wasn't cool to be a nerd.
Yeah.
seriously.
I felt like it was like heavy underground at first, like when we got a hold of it before like all the Toonami stuff and all those
Yeah.
things came out. Like,
Yeah,
I was
you had to go
watching
rent
that.
the
I was
VHS
watching
somewhere.
Dragon Ball on fucking the Mexican networks, like in Spanish. I'm like, I don't know what they're saying, and all the subtitles are in Spanish, but this action is fucking cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
But you're right, though. The Matrix probably was maybe the last time we're going to get that huge technological jump. So your comparison to like Star Wars is probably pretty accurate. And I don't think at this point, I don't know if we'll see anything like that.
I do feel like it's the creative person, like that creative.
But the technology
gene or something. Oh yeah.
isn't going to change.
Technology wise, I do feel that other director. Man, it's bouncing off your forehead.
Jesus Christ. Do you think I'd be a professional by now? Something crawling in my ear. That was a moth.
Who is the director that directed like District 9 and Chappie?
Neil Blomkamp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blomkamp.
So, not the, technology or the way the movie was shot, but
Just the setting.
his blending of like the CGI and the real world, like it just felt,
Oh, we just saw it with the creator.
yeah, it just feels different from any other thing. And I'm like, if they can go forward with this, and I know that it's his style, Zack Snyder has his style, Christopher Nolan has his style, but just the way his movies looked and felt, it just felt flawless to me.
Oh,
have, Have you seen how he makes his movies, Neil Blomkamp?
No, I
like
haven't even
the
looked at it.
care to the special effects and the CGI. He doesn't just have somebody. He didn't just have Charlton Copley in pajamas.
Yeah.
He has like Chappie's, chest plate and everything on him, and then they actually 3D printed the models full scale and everything. They would have it there so they can get the proper light. Like he paid so close to. He knew
Yeah.
what was going to make it look visually connected.
Yeah.
He knew that importance, and yeah, his Elysium, I think he also did. Like all of his movies looked like yes, it was this grittiness, this dystopian future or whatnot, but made sure that, of course, with the future, you're going to have these
Yeah.
visual effects, but like not going to take
Certainly,
you out of it.
certainly polishing the technology
Not
that exists
jarring.
now.
Yeah.
But which is a shame. I mean, maybe someday we will get that. Like, I don't know. I guess like if they ever do like virtual reality movies to the point where like we're going to theaters and putting on, that would be only like the next big
The
thing.
closest thing is the
Headset.
40X.
Some
You're watching Twister and you're getting thrown around.
Yeah.
Dude, I got to shout out. Mosier was telling me that he saw Deadpool Wolverine, and he goes, I almost got thrown out of my seat. And I go, oh, like what happened? He's like, well, I fell asleep. I'm like, but who threw you out? He goes, the seat.
Oh,
I was watching it in 40X.
That's funny. And I don't want to get sidetracked too much from trailers, but
Speaking of technological leaps, let me take us back even further. Did anyone watch the first trailer for the original Star Wars?
No.
the
That-
original what?
No, I
The
don't
original,
know.
the original Star Wars trailer for
Oh
New
no!
Hope.
Yeah.
I
That
watched it after
shit
the fact.
is terrible.
Oh, I bet.
Just so they start with the Star Wars logo against a Starfield, and it's 8 million miles away. and it's getting closer, and they're showing you, the cutting in scenes from the movie, and it's getting closer. It's getting closer. And scenes from the movie, and it's getting close. It feels so drawn out and just dumb. And even the guy, the voiceover guy, seems like he almost seems like he's pitching a horror movie. Just his tone. It just the way it's all cut together is just severely terrible.
Interesting. But again, visually, if you were sitting in this movie theater and you saw those visuals, that might be enough to be like, I gotta go see this.
Yeah, I'm sure it would have been enough, but the tone of the trailer just like, and then seeing the movie, knowing the movie intimately now, I'm like,
Yeah.
this is not the trailer I would have.
Interesting.
I would have put out
I
for
wonder what it
this.
sounds like.
I don't know if I wrote it down. I was watching a trailer, that same thing where like, man, this trailer's making it look like a full-on horror movie, but it's not really. I forgot which one it was, so I don't know why I even said
A
it.
current recent trailer?
No, just in my research for this, I should have wrote it down. It might be in my YouTube search.
Is it like
history,
Rescue Rangers or
no.
So, because I do like a lot of foreign, shows like anime and the Korean dramas and any kung fu type of movie. Mm-hmm. I love when somebody gets inspired by certain things, like The Matrix and all that stuff. But Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill, the soundtrack, when that thing started and you got that beat, to the however it is,
Beep, beep, beep.
yeah, and that the music got me alone. And then just having, certain scenes, with them walking in, and you get like the slow motion scenes, and you cut, and then you get like the action
That's
scene.
right, the Crazy 88.
And it's just, like the crazy, kind of a little bit over the top kung fu action, because I'm gonna lead into Kung Fu Hustle, all those type of like over the top type of movies. Seeing Kill Bill, the first trailer, I was like, man, like that's a movie. One, it's made here in America, but it has that look and style, to the fighting and all that stuff. And then with the Crazy 88, the sword play, and then the sword, I forget his name, but the master,
Jaime.
yeah, Pyme, all that stuff, and then him with the sword, and then she's landing on top of it. I was like, oh, what is this? I'm gonna have to go watch it. And then, of course, it was directed by Quentin Tarantino, so
There's a
I was
certain,
already sold.
there's a certain energy to the trailers back in the early 2000s that was
Yeah.
like a little campy. Like I know it's Quentin Tarantino, but the way that it's cut together, like the quick flash cuts and
Yeah,
going back and forth and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I know one of the things I experienced going back and watching all these things, one, the watching YouTube pop up, and like 14 years ago, I was like, fuck you.
For real.
But also just how nice it was to be watching a trailer for something that didn't already exist. That
Yeah.
wasn't a reboot, wasn't
Yeah.
an IP. So something like Kill Bill, like watching that, and it's like, what is this? I need to go see it.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get bombarded with a bunch of like comic book nerds telling you the story before you go see it, or people bitching about the comic book accurate costumes. Like it was new characters that like we were going to go see, and you had no idea if they were going to survive or not, because you didn't know if it was going to be a franchise. No one was going for franchises that much at that time. And oh fuck, I remember it. Anyway, I'll go back to it. So that was just, it was awesome to go through all of those and just like experience like new
Yeah.
stuff versus nowadays where it's just another character, another
Yeah.
thing. Lord of the Rings, that first trailer made it look like a horror movie,
That's right. Well, look at that.
which I
Yeah,
honestly don't even remember the Lord of the Rings trailer. I was sitting there like, what? I mean, I love those movies. Like, what was the trailers like? So I pulled it up, and it was very like kind of horror-ish. Like really leaned into just like, yeah, Sauron's after you.
After you
Going back to
specifically?
Star Wars though, couple of the more recent ones. Rogue One, the first Rogue One teaser, I loved. That was back when the
Again, is that like a disgusted?
That's
or
no.
a coming,
I'm coming.
Rogue One teaser. That
I
was
come.
at that time the trailer trend was the like slow down an old song or change the way it's
Yeah.
performed.
Yeah.
Like I think the Social Network did the choir girls singing "Creep."
Okay.
But so Rogue One just took the Star Wars theme and slowed it down to like a single piano, and it was so good. And it did that little line of like saying what all Jyn Erso did, and she's like, "This is a rebellion. Like I rebel," and like it set up what we were showing. It looked like Star Wars, right? Because it was set right before Episode 4, so it had that same familiar feel. And then it ended with like the alarm sound. And like the flashes of just like the bad guy. Here's some AT-ATs. We're familiar with those. Like here's some X-Wings. We're familiar with those. And it ended with like, again, the slowed down version of, I think, the Imperial March or another one of the Star Wars songs. And it's like fucking great.
By the way, I don't think we're exactly out of that era, but I love that era of trailers of the slow down song. It's just I don't know, I like the mood and tone of it because it's something that's actually in the movie.
Yeah.
Like
And it worked really well with Rogue One because it was, that came out after Force Awakens. And it was kind of like, all right, let's bring it back to some Star Wars that you're familiar with. So it was like, here's a song, but it's different and same. But
What was what was the start of the new trilogy for Star Wars? Is
The Force Awakens. That first teaser. Was,
amazing fucking teaser. It wasn't even, here's the thing, it wasn't even a teaser.
other than the woke agenda. That's,
It wasn't even like a teaser trailer. It was I think the first official trailer, whatever. And again, did not tell you the storyline or anything because it could have easily done that. And I don't know. It just like if anyone wants to learn how to make a fucking trailer, like that's it right there.
well, that one definitely leaned into like Star Wars fans, right? It was like, we're going to show you some new stuff.
There you
and
go.
We're
Yeah.
going to show you like, here's the baddie. Oh, he's got a red lightsaber. Oh, it's a different lightsaber. And then the cut to black. And then the fucking Millennium Falcon with the music.
That's
like I
right.
had chills. I think I was like laying down and like sat up in my bed because it just like was so cool to see.
That cut to black and then the sort of punchline or whatever.
Yeah.
That I like that trend.
And they used like the Millennium Falcon like flying, right?
Yeah.
Like
And close quarters, too,
modern
in
tech. Like it looked really, really good
Yeah.
after seeing. The last time we saw the Millennium Falcon was in Episode 6, which was still back in the day. Which we got some cool little like it flew around the fleet like this. That was about it. It did like a little thing and it flew through the second Death Star or third Death Star technically, right? Because Star Tours was the second one that we blew up in Star Tours. I forget. That's all canonical.
Is it really?
I don't think that's canonical, but
Probably not anymore. At one point, everything that was made was considered canon.
Yeah.
So Star Tours actually blew up a Death Star. Anyway, like, so to see it, like the sudden punch, the music, and seeing the Millennium Falcon like flying cool, and it wasn't like ridiculous flying, though in the movie it ended up being kind of ridiculous flying, but at that moment it was cool.
Yeah. For the Force Awakens?
Yeah.
Yeah.
that trailer music where they take the Star Wars theme and they just like punch it up like with the drums like dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even watch the trailer. I would just hit play and just close my eyes and just listen to that shit because that shit it stirred the heart.
Mm-hmm.
And then they gave us 7, 8, and 9. I'm like, all right.
Yeah. Again, we go from that teaser of like Kylo with like, because I'm trying to remember if they even gave us the voice. They gave us, but certainly like the cool like stance and it was
Yeah,
the
that's
lightsaber, and then the extra two things come out, and then the movie comes out, and it starts with that cool scene with him and the voice and everything, and then he takes it off, and it's Adam Driver, and he's throwing fits and shit. Man, what a letdown.
He throws fits and shits. I forget that part of the movie.
Shits and fits.
Do any of you guys have like a good gauge or barometer on after watching the trailer going, oh, this is going to be a good movie or not? Like, what's your batting average on that?
I've stopped judging movies
Yeah.
by the trailer. Like, this is a cool trailer. Cool, I'm interested in the movie. I don't know if it's going to be good or not.
Because my wife, the one
don't know.
that she is was spot on with, and ever since then, she's like, you better fucking start listening to me.
I said I don't know.
What?
Nothing.
Was the reboot to the Fantastic Four.
Ew.
Yeah, she's like, that looks terrible. I'm like, no, but like, superhero stuff. And like, it's gotta be good, right? Yeah.
It's right about to come over the table.
Bro,
Like at the time, I liked the
forget-
grittiness and stuff.
what movie he went to go watch, and I was like, "You're gonna go watch this movie over this movie?" I was like, "Yeah, you're Isaac."
Oh wait, what was that?
It was Madam Web.
Madam
wasn't it?
Web.
I had to though.
Yeah.
I had to. I knew it was gonna be bad. I had to. It
He
wasn't.
had-
I didn't
he
say it
had
was gonna
to.
be a fucking good movie.
Fantastic.
Had to. Still my favorite review that I did.
Fantastic Four, the reboot though, because I think they brought on, was it a horror director or something? Or no, I think they just they pushed the idea like we're gonna try to make it like a horror movie, and at that time,
I did have a horror film.
I still haven't seen it, so I'm not gonna say like I got
Don't have
excited
to.
for it, but at the time I was getting a little excited about it because we had so many superhero movies, and I was just waiting for something different. So them coming in and kind of giving it that push of like, it's going to be different. It's going to be a little bit more horror orientated, because it's like if you think about the Fantastic Four and how they got their powers and everything, like it is kind of horror.
It was super horrifying how the little origin story.
and but then I heard it was bad. I was like, well, I don't need to go see it. Like,
Wow, that guy did Chronicle.
oh yeah,
Josh
that's right. I remember them
Trank.
bringing it. I remember that was part of the excitement about
I
that
like
whole thing. Was
Chronicle.
bringing in Chronicle. Yeah, Chronicle was another found footage. Mm-hmm. I don't remember the trailer for that, but that trailer
I was
probably
gonna
was pretty exciting.
Save that one
That was a
for
cool
our,
trailer.
for our non-main superhero.
Oh yeah, I think that's going to make a good topic once we put a list together.
I have one on my list for you, Doug.
Okay.
The 2009 teaser trailer for the rebooted Star Trek.
The very beginning teaser when it
When
was
they're
just them
working
building
on the ship.
Oh man,
Like
yeah.
I was looking at trailers, I'm like, wait a minute, I remember that, and I looked it back up, I'm like, oh, that still like gives me the chills when I'm watching this shit. All of a sudden, it pulls back, and it's
Yep.
the Enterprise, and
And it goes from Kennedy to Spock saying,
Leonard Nimoy.
yeah.
I was like, I love Star Trek, not as much as I love Star Wars, but I love Star Trek too. And but seeing that, like, I was like, oh man, like, don't even release anything else. This is all I need.
Well, so
for that one,
I
Yeah.
know,
use up.
I know I've told this story on this podcast before, so repeat. But I was seeing Cloverfield, and I was at the movie theater, and that teaser came on, and I think it's flashing, it's showing people working on the ship, and it doesn't even look sci-fi-ish, right? It's literally people still lighting a welder and everything, and it said like from J.J. Abrams, and I remember sitting there thinking, going like, J.J. Abrams, he's working on Star Trek. Like, what? Like, when is this coming out? Right? Like, it did not look like a Star Trek movie. So in my head, I like, oh, it's not Star Trek. Though it's Abrams. And then as soon as it panned out and you saw that it was the Enterprise getting built and it switched to Leonard Nimoy's voice, like, oh my god, I think I audibly like jizzed.
Audibly.
And like, I'm sure, I think I clapped. I think, and back then, like, being a public nerd wasn't super accepted. If I was in there, just like,
Is that guy a nerd?
yeah, someone like.
I had the same experience
books
with that.
in my hand
I
and
was
then knocked
watching,
them out.
I was watching another movie, and that trailer came on. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And all of a sudden, like, the reveal, and I'm like,
It's a good
Yeah.
trailer.
Those movies were another good example of just Abrams' style. Like, really, I mean, I know everyone bitches about the lens flare, but I thought the lens flare was fun. Like, it made it visually
Worked.
That's
different.
not bad. That's not bad.
Worked.
Anything that makes something visually different, like it makes a big difference.
I
Michael Bay needs to
did
stop
get
the lens flare.
excited.
And say Michael Bay needs to stop the lens flare.
So, because I'm a big, I was about to say this wrong.
because you're a big black man. We
Let
know.
me say the first word I was going to say first second. Because I'm a big Alien and Predator fan.
It's a joke. What do you
Predator fan.
What do you call it when a Mexican and a priest are fighting? Alien versus Predator.
Yeah.
Keep it in.
Right. So, I didn't even know that they were making a AVP movie, Aliens versus Predator. And I don't
Almost got it
remember
right on the line.
I don't remember what movie I went to go watch, and I was surprised that didn't see the trailer, anywhere, or on YouTube or whatever. But I went to the theater and I saw, just some, it's a sci-fi movie, but see some people, they're scouting and they dig down into these ice tunnels and they find some pyramid, and they're going in there, lights on, and they're looking at this thing, like a flare or whatever it is, and they go in there and they fucking open up this box, and then I believe they showed the Predator shoulder cannons, and I was like, what the exactly.
Come.
And then you see the Predator, like, they're just like running, and I'm like, what is this movie? And then you see aliens in this movie too, and then I'm like, and it's just one of these big movies where, of course, they had to put people in there because it just couldn't be just predators and aliens, but so they had to
You have to have the
put
human
the
element
in there. But just the concept of that trailer, to say that these people, stumbled upon this thing, like they found it, they scanned and saw something buried underneath the ice, and it was like a predator training ground and all this stuff, and they took their weapons before they could even get there. I was like, oh, this movie is about to be fire. And I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the first one, 2 and 3, whatever.
There was a third.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
A
There was a third,
been a handful.
Yeah. But that trailer was one of the ones I was like, we're actually getting an Alien versus Predator movie. So that kind of got me hyped for that movie.
You touched on something though, that experience of not knowing when you're in the movie theater.
I was just gonna say
I
that.
fucking love it and I miss it. And I'll try to show people sometimes. But like you bring it up on YouTube and they look at the title. It's like, no, don't look at the title.
Yeah.
Like just watch the trailer
What do you
because it's
expect?
something. Because I think I've talked about Prey. Speaking of Predator.
Fuck, I was gonna bring that one up.
Oh yeah,
too.
go for it.
No, that. I don't know if I saw it online or if I saw it in the theater. I'm pretty sure I saw it in the theater. Like it was just Native American stuff. I'm like, oh, I wonder what this is. It's a new Western movie, and then all of a sudden, like halfway through it, you see the Predator. I forget what it was.
I think the first
Was it-
one of them
was
was
it
the
the three
red dots.
That's
and-
usually how they
And then I
announce
think
those
there
guys.
was an early teaser where it's saying like it was her running in the water from that bear or whatever, and they show that, and then all of a sudden the bear is getting lifted up by the invisible, predator, and I think that was the first thing I saw. That was just like, this is the Predator, like, but
That shit caught me completely off guard.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
like,
that
what the
was
fuck?
another
Like that. Oh, it was so good.
it's even going back to Star Trek, the J.J. Abrams, the reboot, like the first full trailer was the kid in the convertible playing Beastie Boys Sabotage. And so same things like, oh, what's this? And then all of a sudden the hover bike on the hover bike police robot is chasing him. And so it's a sci-fi thing. And kid almost falls off. And then it's like, what is your name? It's like James Tiberius Kirk. And again, just, oh God, it's happening.
Milk me.
Yeah. Milk me.
The one that I remember as far as a teaser trailer and as a kid,
We're going for that milk sponsorship.
Yep.
it just
It gives us all healthy bone.
it's me being like, yeah, I love milk. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Milk for all 207
Can't
of
do it.
those bones.
Well, we'll go with oat milk.
Mumbled, okay.
Oat milk me.
Oat
Milk
milk?
table.
Oat milk.
Oat milk.
Okay.
Are there nipples on oats?
You haven't looked hard enough.
Can you milk an oat?
If you
How
try
do
it,
we get milk out of oats?
let's try it.
Is this milk?
Malk. The one that I remember is the original Spider-Man teaser trailer, and it had nothing in it that was like really part of the movie. And if I recall, the way it plays out is like there's like a bank heist, and you're following along. You're like, okay, and then these guys escape on a helicopter. All of a sudden, the helicopter like stops in midair, and they look up, and there's like webbing in the rotors, and then it slings back, and it pans back out, and they're caught in a giant web between the twin towers.
That
I was like,
That-
Spider-Man.
that ad like lasted for what? 5 minutes?
Yeah.
And then the
Got
towers
pulled
came down and
Yeah,
they pulled that
so-
trailer because I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I just remember that
too
as a
soon, bro.
kid.
Too soon.
But you're right. None of this, we're watching it for those.
They don't need to know.
But none of that was in the movie, right?
We'll flash
No.
it on the screen.
So that's something that I'm like almost.
What other
I
trailers
mean, I
done
guess
that?
you can't really do that with new characters. It works for this because we know that was such a bad term. Because we know who Spider-Man is, right? So you could do something like this, pan back and be like, "Oh, Spider-Man," and then be excited about them making a Spider-Man movie.
It is so badly shot too.
Yeah, this looks horrible. Jesus, I didn't realize. I don't remember that.
I vaguely remember that. Like it was just bad.
And
it
as
was
as you're watching this, do you think that this was initially part of a reveal scene for him in the movie, or they just shot this specifically for the trailer?
and then they
Oh, that's a good point. And
think
then they
so.
cut it. Yeah, that's a good point. But I remember like this part of just like seeing him
swinging.
Yeah, and then them using the PS3 font because it's all Sony, and apparently they have one font.
I don't know. Just because of the way that it was shot, just how it looked, I don't think that they were gonna ever use that.
It might
And
have
the
just been
original-
test footage that they used to show the studio, like, "Hey, look,
Like,
we can do
make
it."
this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've exhausted my my good list. I do have a few left on my bad though.
Okay, let's hear them.
Has everyone here seen The Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind?
Yeah.
I don't remember it, but
So the trailer for it, I guess they didn't know how to present it because it had Jim Carrey in it and wasn't one of his traditional wacky roles. And if you watch the trailer, it kind of plays like an off the wall comedy, and that movie was not an off the wall comedy. Like
Interesting.
it was like
Yeah, people didn't like he was doing drama.
yeah, it was drama and a little heart wrenching.
I do
and-
like that movie too.
We've all been there.
I like the movie, and I hadn't seen the trailer, and it popped up in a list, and I was looking at it. I'm like, let me watch that. I'm like, oh shit, I never would have seen this movie if I had seen the.
that's
The
interesting.
trailer.
It makes you wonder if they like gave the marketing department like just some clips, and they're like, "Oh, Jim Carrey, all right," and then they watch the clips and are like, "Oh, okay, we'll throw something together here."
That's what I'm curious about.
Add
How
in
they,
some like zoinks and things.
I'm always curious how they put trailers together. I'm like, do they give them? Did anybody research any of that? Like, do they give them the whole movie? Do they give them just a handful of clips?
I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure it's different, right? I'm sure
Yeah.
sometimes it's a full movie. I'm sure sometimes the director is like, no. Like, this is what we're showing. I guess the producer probably makes a lot of that decisions also, of like what mood they're going for. But I can imagine some being more hands off and some more being hands on. I'm pulling this out of my ass. I don't really know.
Yeah.
Going back to like kind of what we talked about with BVS with like ruining the Doomsday thing. There's a few other examples like Thor, Ragnarok, ruining the great Hulk entrance. Like one, I don't even know if they needed to market that Hulk was in that movie, which would have been again like a fun thing to experience. But at that point, I think we were ready for buddy movies within the Marvel universe, so they kind of needed to. But his whole entrance of like, I know him, he's from work or whatever. Like that would have been like, it was a great scene in the trailer. But man, that would have been so like such a funny moment in the theater, and then not in the superhero genre, but going back again, I think to the '90s, Free Willy, way to just the poster alone let you know like he's getting out, and we know how he's doing it, but the trailer showed it. Like there was no suspense because the trailer
Was it the Michael Jackson song?
Yeah, I don't know if it was Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I
but,
think it was a Michael.
but man, and that movie was such like a pivotal like movie for my childhood. Like I don't know why like Free Willy was just like the movie to watch.
all the time. I don't remember the fucking movie.
Oh, I don't think there was much to it. And like the whale had the floppy fin. He was sad, and we had to
did
let
have
him
the floppy
go.
fin.
Yeah, it was Star Trek 4, but not for Star Trek. In Star Trek 4, they had to save whales.
That's right. Okay. Appreciate that.
And then what was the other one I saw on the list? I didn't think about it, so I'm not going to pretend like I remembered it. But people listed it was Cabin in the Woods, which the trailer. I mean, I kind of get it. I guess the trailer needed to show you that it was more than maybe what you think. And it wasn't just another Cabin in the Woods movie.
Yeah.
And I don't think I saw the trailer before I went to see it. So I went in like watching. It's like, oh, it's a Cabin in the Woods, and it's like, oh no, there's all this cool, crazy shit happening, which
gotta
was
rewatch that
which was the fun of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun movie.
But the
Still haven't seen
trailer kept cutting
Watch it together.
to like the lab and the
Yeah.
you didn't know what it was, but certainly if you watch that trailer and then watch the movie, the whole time you'd be like, wait, where's all the other shit? And I
Got
mean
it.
maybe it would ruin for you, maybe not, but
Another movie recently that kind of gave away a spoiler was, I mean, it may be too obscure because probably not a lot of people seen it, but Abigail. It's like the vampire ballerina. And,
Great movie. By the way. I liked it a lot.
and they like showed, like one of the characters turning. And kind of the same thing for Romulus, right? Like I'm excited to see Alien Romulus, but they showed you like a lot of people dying.
Yeah, and I feel like that's always going to be something that might be hard for horror movies to do, and that's why maybe they need to really stick to teasers, which or something, because I feel like a lot of times, Abigail's a great example of like they show, like, they never show the actual death, and maybe Abigail. I'm trying to think, maybe it might have been one of those things where the trailer tricked you a little bit. But I do feel like sometimes these movies like show you like right up to someone's death, and then when it happens in the movie, it's like, oh yeah, we knew that was coming. But they do trick you sometimes.
Speaking of trailers tricking you and going back to the superhero universe, like the Marvel thing, they would have in the trailer it would be like full on Hulk, but then in the movie it was like a Banner and the Hulkbuster.
Yeah, that was Infinity War. Yeah, that's the one that I know.
That killed me.
Yeah,
But they did that a handful of times.
yeah, they were really big on the deception, which I think ultimately.
Spider-Man, No Way Home, they did that.
Oh yeah, they left out the other twos.
But I forget what international trailer they'd had like left on a few seconds, and the lizard is getting punched by an invisible person.
Yeah. Again, maybe the internet needs to stop fucking breaking down everything like that and just.
That's a crucial thing to not
But that
cut,
was.
though.
But I mean,
If
that
your
was still
idea
something
is
you
to
wouldn't
not
have
reveal
even
the three.
noticed if they didn't zoom in
I
on
feel
it. And
if they wanted to keep that scene in there, they could have, like showed that scene, but just have that little bit of movement and then cut it before he got that.
So that's
kick
what like
or
the
whatever.
in the States that's what the trailer was, but the international one I forget where that's where they just left on a few seconds.
yeah.
Fail on somebody's.
That Infinity War trailer though with the Hulk, I think that one stings the most because not having the Hulk as the Hulk just stung throughout. I mean, like those two movies were great. Other than, I mean, we got the Hulk at the very beginning, and he had a fun little fight with Thanos, and then he got hurt and got scared. But that did just suck. I mean, it was cool seeing Ruffalo or Bruce Banner in the Hulkbuster. It was a creative fix. Ultimately, I think it was a way to just handicap the Avengers that much because, and I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe they were afraid that just watching Hulk smash a bunch of aliens would be just too similar to everything we've seen before of what the Hulk does. He smashes aliens.
But that's what everybody wants.
Yeah,
Hulk smash.
they could have had him like throw some people or something like that. I don't know, but
Do you guys know when trailers first started? By the way, little fun fact.
no.
Space back in 1913. They were
Wow.
actually showed at the
And
end.
yeah, that's the name. Yeah.
That's trailers.
That's fun.
In case you didn't know, now you do.
Oh,
I will bring up that a very action-packed movie. Another one that I kind of watched the trailer a few times was The Raid.
Oh yeah, I just watched that today.
That shit was like just
Still haven't seen it.
Oh, and we need to make that happen.
action-packed.
I've been wanting to rewatch it. So
From the way that it started, it starts the same way, of course, like the movie starts, but it's just this. You see these cops getting ready in like a van, this unit, this SWAT team, and then they go into this building and just chaos just breaks loose. And
Well, was that? And the trailer sets it up too. It's like 20 elite cops, one crime lord, 30 floors of chaos, and then they show you a bunch of action, and like you're not even curious what the story is because they kind of set up the story, but it's like that's good enough for me. This action looks amazing.
yeah, I was in line for that ride the minute I saw that trailer.
Do
Yeah.
you guys miss the voiceover era of trailers?
No. I mean, I think
not
there
so
was a
much.
moment when they were doing it really well, but I think today I watched the trailer for Braveheart. And like, God, those like trailers back then were just lame. And it was like the voiceover, and it wasn't even a cool voiceover. It was just like,
Whoa. I like John
William-
Blanfontaine.
William Wallace has to go fight the English.
Was it really?
No, it wasn't quite that bad, but like,
It's like Billy Crystal doing it.
but yeah,
Willie Wallace.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think there's a place for it. you know,
What era type of trailers do you guys prefer? By the way, like back in the day, like the original trailers were just full on like snippets, like a scene or three played out.
yeah. Sometimes I look up
Yeah.
like old classic trailers and it's like, wow, this is
The whole
this is a
scene.
lot. Or sometimes it's like they're almost worse than some of the movies that we've seen today, where they almost give away the whole
It's
thing.
almost
The
like the
Crow, the
Netflix-
newest Crow.
It's
God.
almost like the Netflix trailer. I hate when they show you like that little piece, and then you're like, oh, now I gotta go watch like the full trailer to get the full story, because they'll show
But
some
just snippet from
girl-
whatever.
Yeah, it's like a girl in the room. Let's say it's a horror movie. Like it's a girl in the room, and she's just panicking, and then right when something's about to happen, like it just cuts out, and I'm like,
Would you like to watch more?
I need a little bit more before I get invested in this.
That's how it works. But what is your favorite era? If you have a favorite one,
I don't know if I do.
I'd probably say maybe like the 2000s, like early 2000s.
which is with without the voiceovers, it was with the. Want to play it again?
Oh, yeah.
Wah.
No.
I was fine with the voiceovers because it was a thing at that time, but I feel like that era of like when we got from Blade to The Matrix to all those other movies were my era right there.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I really like the trailers that have like the music, especially if it's like the slowed down and a different frame. So like, I guess
Same.
that would be a little bit more modern. It is like thinking back to the trailers.
It's more artistic.
Yeah, I think they are being a little bit more artistic with them today, and turning them in because it is lucrative. Now they're on YouTube and they can generate revenue off of people watching them. So it does pay to make a trailer rewatchable. I mean, going back to Rebel Moon Director's Cut, I put that on repeat. I love that trailer.
May I say though, as much as I love those types of trailers, when the subsequent trailers come out and they're just like, okay, yeah, enough of the artsy shit and just like clips. You're like, what the fuck?
Usually it's the second trailer that goes into more like this is the story, and that's why the second trailer also usually ruins the movie. Is like BVS. It was like first trailer was like fun and artsy and giving you like the tone and the setup, and then the second trailer was like, here is the entire movie and there are zero surprises in this world.
Now, has a teaser trailer locked you in and then the other trailers took you back out of it and you didn't go see the movie?
No, I don't know if it's ever gotten
I
to
don't think
that
that's
point.
happened.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's ever gotten to that point. I've been certainly mad.
I wonder if there's like the worst trailer ever out there.
Oh, probably. But I was going to say it's interesting because you brought up like back in the 90s or early 2000s. I think we are seeing a shift because kind of going back what we were saying about even the directors. Back in the day, it was like, here's Will Smith's new movie. And it would probably be enough to be like, I want to go see it. Or here's Schwarzenegger's new movie. Here's Stallone's new movie. And like almost the clips in the trailer probably didn't even matter that much because it was just a matter of setting up like, what's Schwarzenegger this time? Oh, he's a kindergarten cop? Cool. He's fucking pregnant? Whatever, we'll go see it.
He's a twin.
Yeah, he's got a twin with Danny DeVito. Or he's
Just trying to get an action doll.
yeah, he's banging Jamie Lee Curtis, but they're actually spies, and he's flying a Harrier, which was the coolest fucking jet at that time. Oh my god, that was fucking cool.
Wish I could remember more.
But now we don't have, like, as people have talked about, we don't have those superstars now, other than like Tom Cruise. But he's basically just doing Mission Impossibles.
He really is.
So now it is almost like the characters or the stories, and I don't know. Like I said, I kind of went for the day of like, here's just something new. And then going back to the creator, that was certainly one of those moments of just like, this is new. This
Yeah.
looks amazing. This
Yeah.
looks cool. Disappointed a little bit, but
I
it was
do-
still pretty cool. Cool world, but like I think we said on our story, it's a cool world, but it was a story. They needed a different story.
I do feel the new age of, Will Smith's new movie, Tom Cruise new movie, Bruce Willis new movie. Now you'll get in trailers, from the producers of Insidious and from the producers of, blah, blah, blah.
That's how Romulus was.
So, yeah. So if you like those certain movies, they'll kind of give you like a little playlist of you know, oh, these people made these movies, and it's kind of like, oh, if you like those movies, then you'll probably like that. So that's what I feel like it
less
is
actor
nowadays.
focused and more production focused.
Yeah.
Yeah, like overall style maybe.
The trailer for Robert Zemeckis' Here. You see that trailer? It's I mean, Zemeckis usually directs movies. I don't know, like Back to the Future,
Like here or here.
Forrest Gump. You know, there's like really interesting HERE, really interesting concepts, and he's fantastic at directing interesting concept movies. And this one is no different from the other ones. It's a stationary camera. And so you're here, and it's starring Tom Hanks and Robin Wright. So Jenny and Forrest are back again, and it's essentially takes place over like 100 years.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's a little bit of like interesting concept, good actors, great director. Like just that alone will fucking lock in. Also, great soundtrack in that trailer. Like, man, those are just some good components. Because the concept itself is interesting, but also kind of weird enough to discourage people. Because you're like, wait, the camera don't move?
Yeah, no, there's so many people. Wait, it's black and white. I don't want to see. It's like, all right. Yeah, there is some picky audience, which again hurts everything.
Well, I mean, you know, people, you know, they like what they like, but and I don't know. What I was
I mean,
going
like
with that.
opinions can be wrong though. The Batman trailer was cool. And I'm just kind of throwing that out there, but
That was a great trailer.
that was one though that
Are
they
you referring to the Bane?
no
The Batman.
the Batman
The
Matt
one where
Reeves.
the Batman like beats the shit out of the kid.
Yeah, and
Okay.
Justice or whatever. That one, like,
The side of spaghetti.
I mean, I think they needed to go that hard because
Put you
because
in
everyone was so
timeout.
worried about Robert Pattinson playing Batman.
Yeah.
I think they needed to show that scene of just like this isn't going to be pansy sparkly Batman. This is going to be him beating the shit out of some kid. But that trailer certainly relied on just you know who Batman is, you know who Catwoman is, you know, like the trailer just was like, here's these characters, like go for it. I mean, I guess all those kind of trailers do, but that one felt very much, and the movie felt the same way. The movie was just like, here's Gotham. Like it didn't set up anything. It didn't show us how he became Batman or why or anything. Like, so the trailer, I guess, matched the movie feel.
I did like the car chase scene and all that stuff with the.
Yeah, the problem with the trailer post watching the movie was that the trailer showed us all the cool stuff.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of.
It was a 3 hour long movie. The cool stuff was in the 2.5 minute trailer, and then there was a lot of decent, fun filler. But
So, to add to his Batman, does anybody remember the third Christopher Nolan like teaser trailer for the Batman franchise?
oh, was it Bane blowing up the stadium?
No, not even the stadium. Like it was just like a quick. It might have been a little bit of that, but for some reason in my head, I remember that there was like a teaser moment where you see Batman and Bane on that little kind of
Catwalk.
like catwalk walkway thing,
Oh, yeah.
and you just see Batman like just, you know, kind of just a little bit backing up, and then you see Bane just coming in, you know, like strong, like that force, and I'll just never forget that because it was just one of those where you don't see Batman in those type of moments, you know, but it's Bane, so just having that powerhouse, and you just see Batman in like a little bit of a weakened state, you're like, oh,
Yeah,
I'm with this.
great way to like set the tone.
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
and like that's a perfect like scene for a trailer because it's like anyone that's paying attention is like, oh,
Yeah,
Batman's in trouble.
yeah, exactly.
Did anybody mention the Amazing Spider-Man 2 trailer?
No,
That one was notorious. That was actually the start of me cutting back from watching too many trailers because that one was notorious for basically showing all of the action scenes, every single one of them. And then, you know, I don't think they had trailers where it was like clip, but they would have, that movie had a lot of like sneak peek, watch this scene, and it'd be like the whole like, electro fight scene, stuff like that. They really fucked it up. But that was at the time I was like, oh, I'm gonna fucking investigate everything and pause it and shit.
I don't understand like that current
Sneak
trend
peeks.
of like here's the first 10 minutes.
A special look at blah blah blah.
Do we
Yeah.
still currently have special looks and sneak peeks?
Deadpool and
Every
Wolverine
once in a
like
while.
had 25 minutes out
Every
there
once
or
in a
something
while.
like that.
I missed that.
Yeah, well, I think the 25 minutes was something like special for some group, but then I think there was like the 10 minutes, which I guess would be the dance number, the opening dance number. Like, because I started seeing gifs and mentions of that prior to the movie even coming out because people, like, there was so much marketing for that movie, and I don't understand why. Like, I don't, like, I can't imagine people that weren't going to see that movie suddenly decided to see it because he was on fucking Jack in the Box or something like that. Like, everyone knows about that movie.
Yeah,
Everyone
but
knew-
they broke. I don't know if they broke. They broke records for being an R-rated movie. In its opening box office. Do you think none of that marketing contributed towards that?
The only thing that
100 million
marketing might
marketing,
have contributed to it was just, I guess, keeping it on people's minds enough to know when it came out. Right? Because I've said that before. Like, nowadays, it's so easy to not pay attention to release dates because we have streaming and like that whole world of like, when's this? Friday at 6? Okay, we got to be home at Friday. Like, that world's gone.
True.
And
Yeah,
so it's
appointment
very
television.
like it's very easy to forget a release date of a movie. So maybe that's what the marketing did, was keep it on people's mind enough to constantly be checking it or set the alarms or something like that. But
I also do feel like it's the character because
Yeah.
you have all
and it's Ryan
going-
fucking Reynolds.
going to conventions, for umpteen years now. Just seeing Star Wars cosplay and the rise of like Deadpool and Harley Quinn, they're very popular characters. So there's certain franchises I think that would always do good, even if the superhero genre is not doing good. But there's certain characters, like you got the Spider-Man No Way Home. Spider-Man's gonna do good. I feel Deadpool's gonna do good. And this is just a movie with, Wolverine and Deadpool. Fans have been wanting this for so long. I don't even think they had to push it as much as they did.
Oh, that's what
But,
I'm saying.
yeah.
They could have just said like,
Yeah.
"Hey, it's coming."
I think since they had $100 million budget for marketing, they're like, well, we got to spend it.
Yeah, and
And spend it how?
yeah,
I have one more on the. It's not necessarily bad, but the way it introduced the character, everyone fucking hated. And it's the first Sonic the Hedgehog live action movie trailer.
Oh, how could we miss that
Oh,
one?
wow.
And
yeah.
that shit, like,
Ugly Sonic.
it wasn't necessarily a bad trailer, but the Sonic character itself looked like fucking horrendous. Which prompted, the internet to raise its pitchforks and get his character model changed. Even though there's, conspiracy theories out there that say that they put that out there just
Yeah.
to fuck with people and rub them the wrong way.
Because the turnaround was like relatively quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm assuming the turnaround might have been someone at some point. Like, I'd like to think that they made an accurate version at early, and
Tested
then someone was like, no, let's change it up or something like
Yeah.
that.
This was that executive focus group version.
Yeah,
Like, give him teeth and, make him look goofy. Yeah, the kids will love it.
I am so glad they changed Sonic, but I hate that they empowered the internet.
Well, that and the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, which I mean, I'm glad we finally got the Snyder Cut, and that was certainly. I feel like that was a little bit different, but still, the crowd that has now taken it, because we were all big release the Snyder Cut people, but like I don't want to even associate with that fucking group now. Like a lot of it was bots, and then they're so vocal and they're so like they hate James Gunn now because he took over. It's like, let it go. Like, it's fine. It was one thing to like push to see like the release of the Snyder Cut, and that ended up being good enough that it was like, yeah, maybe we should see the rest of the universe, but we don't need to be violent and like assholes about it.
Says you.
Yeah.
I think we should punch people instead. Is there another example though of the nerds or the audience, their voices winning and changing something? It's just those two pops up at the top of my head.
Those are the first, like those are the two that I think were like officially recognized,
Yeah.
and like officially acknowledged. But I mean, I would say Deadpool and Wolverine was almost a celebration of Like, let's just listen to what people want and give it to them.
Or what about the canceled Deadpool movie, but the leak happened, and then the alleged leak of the
Test
car.
footage, yeah.
Yeah, the test footage and.
As
the-
Reynolds says, some asshole looks at the camera. And some
Yeah.
asshole
'cause,
released
yeah,
it.
then it took the internet by storm,
I
and then
love
they
it.
made that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is probably like brilliant a way to like test things is to like have a leak or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the Sonic thing feels like bullshit to me. I mean I'm not a big conspiracy theorist, but like I don't understand why they wouldn't have released
Do you know what I feel like?
what Sonic looked like prior to like the trailer and then being like, "Ooh."
I feel though, whoever said like, well, maybe they had like the cartoony one, the accurate one there. I think that the studio, because studios, all the studios are all powerful and everything. They're like, no. Let's make it real. Real's all great. You know, they think that the suits, they think they're the creative, and they have to go ahead and they go, okay. And they just know, maybe like the creators go, we know this is going to fucking fall flat and people are going to react how we're going to react. And then we'll have what we already created and throw it in there.
I get
I do feel. I hear certain stories, you know, about Hollywood and how certain people go against the grain, but two little quick stories. I heard when they were coming out with Transformers that they actually tried to make the Transformers look like the animated Transformers, but they said they look too boxy. You know, no matter, you know, how much style or, you know, shading or anything that they put on it. This is just what I heard. They said that it just didn't look right. You know, it didn't look believable. So they went with all the, you know, like all the gears and the gizmos and all that kind of, you know, like the epic transformation that we have now, you know, in the Transformers movie. They said it didn't transfer over the film properly. And then you hear, you probably heard the story of the one with Jurassic Park, how they were going to make that, you know, movie, and they wanted them to use like the stop motion puppets, like how they, you know, did with all the movies back in the day,
Yeah.
and RoboCop and all that stuff. But there was just these guys that were just like, we're gonna do what they're saying, but we're gonna, you know, make 3D models. You know, even though they told us to stop, we're gonna continue making this. You know, but we're still gonna make the movie with these, you know, stop motion dinosaurs. And then when like the big wigs came in, they're like, oh, look what we have, you know, this is what we have. And they showed it to them, but then they're like, but look what we have over here too.
Oh, interesting. Because I remember
And they liked that stuff.
I remember having the VHS, the making of Jurassic Park, and watching it over and over. And I remember Spielberg saying like it just didn't look right. It was still too jittery and jolty. And even though like stop motion animation and you have like the pros doing it were amazing, they, you know, that was essentially the birth of ILM.
Industrial Light and Magic.
There you go. Thank you. So I haven't heard that story, but I mean,
I think it was on the movies that made us. I could be wrong. Because there was a certain part in there where they were discussing that they were trying to develop and design things, you know, before 3D modeling was even a thing.
because the stop motion animators, the puppeteers, they still were involved. What they ended up doing was creating little mechanical puppets, and then using that because they knew the motions. They knew how the not to turn this into ILM stuff, but they knew the motions of it, so they were still employed, from what I understand.
Yeah. Completely off subject, and we can cut this, but you remind like that idea of like designers and studios coming in. I was reading this thing today about Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, and you know the Reliant, the nacelles were underneath. I guess they designed it to be the other way around. They wanted the nacelles on top. They wanted to basically just make kind of a more condensed Enterprise, and they mailed it to the studios to get the approval, and the guy just opened it upside down. And so he wrote a note on the bottom like, yeah, this looks great, go for it. But his bottom was the other way around. So when they got it back, they were like, wait, oh, did he open it up? Like, he must have been looking it upside down. Then they're like, oh, actually, this looks kind of cool. So then that's why they're Reliant. I hope that's true because I think that's fun. That's one where I'm kind of curious what the trailer for Wrath of Khan looked like, or any of those old Star Treks. Con.
Okay.
That's a good. That's
That's as good as
That's
place
a
as any to wrap this up. Thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to check us out on our Instagram and TikTok at The Hype Attack. Douglas.
Yeah, keep the conversation going. This is a great one. I'm sure everyone has your favorite trailers or trailers that you stick with you from when you were a child or trailers that ruined a movie for you.
Yeah, I want to hear what trailers you guys absolutely hate. Hate. Because there's not enough of those, I think. Like, I was looking through there, and I'm like, there's not enough trailers in here that I looked at, and I'm like,
Full
that
hate.
completely turned me off to the movie. And I want to know if there's trailers out there for people that would be like, no, I'll never see that movie because of the trailer.
No, but there are trailers that I do watch. I'll wait for that one.
Trash.
So in the meantime, like, rate, review. Check us out on all the things. And until next time, same hype time.
Same hype channel.
Oh.
Hype attack.